I mean, the most severe one that I've heard from them is they want to get the population down to 500 million people from 8 billion. That tells you they're wanting 15 out of 16 people dead.
Well, what is there in the U.S.?
350, 330 million, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably 350 with the illegals here. Sorry.
I don't care. Yeah. All right. I know we talked just barely brushed over this, but BRICS.
Oh, and I got a solution for the Eagles, or for the illegals.
Oh boy! All right.
Yeah, no, I had this solution
Let's hear it.
a few years back. They do a you put balls numbered from 1 to 31 into a thing. You spin it around, but it's a secret lottery. They pull it out, and then on whatever, say the number comes up 17. On the 17th, they shoot anybody coming across the border, and they do that each month, and nobody knows what the day is going to be. That would cut it down, right?
All right. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
All right. We're gonna move on.
That ought to go over good in the comment section.
Yeah. Get my channel taken down. All right. Anyway, so.
Well, it was just a hypothetical.
Right. Okay, so we brushed on BRICS. Do you think we're going back to a gold standard, even in the U.S.?
Let's not brush on BRICS. Let's talk about BRICS.
No, I said we brushed on it, but let's
Well, let's talk about it. It's important because BRICS is such a significant. It's such a significant portion of the world's various countries, and it's a very significant portion of trade.
Right.
So they cannot be ignored. The policy of the U.S. has been to isolate any countries through sanctions, any countries that don't play our game.
Right.
And the formation of the BRICS does exactly that. It isolates the West. Now they're going to tell the West, okay, fine. You want to isolate us? Now, here's the Berlin Wall. We just rebuilt it.
Right.
You do business on your side, we'll do business on our side, and let's see who lives and survives and who doesn't. And they know that the financial system of the West is a complete Ponzi house of cards. They know it's going to come down. They also know that the manufacturing that used to be in the West is no longer in the West.
Right.
I mean, the formation of the BRICS and the meetings that they have coming up in October are hugely significant. And it's interesting that Russia is basically this year hosting the BRICS.
Right.
So it's going to be, like you said, October's going to be extremely interesting to get to it because it's basically an isolationary event for the West.
Right. And that's why I think...
And it exposes the West. It exposes the fact that, we're running the world. The world, the average central bank holds 60% of the reserves in dollars, which is monopoly money. There's no difference.
Right. So I know they're all buying gold at the fastest pace in history. You got Russia, China, India, all these central banks and countries are buying gold. So I don't see how
they're not
the
buying
U.S.
dollars.
Right. So I don't see how the U.S. cannot get in line because we don't manufacture anything here. Everything's outsourced.
Right.
And so I personally think we're going to get pulled back on. But I wouldn't be surprised if we do have a bunch of gold that we're not going to talk about because there's no way that these central banks like the Fed, there's no way that they don't know what's coming, right? I mean, they have to see
know. Yeah, of course.
Right. So why would they not be positioning themselves? Or are we that arrogant? Or
why anything in today's world?
Yeah. So
I mean, if this was 50, 60, 70 years ago, there was a better understanding of what money is.
Right.
There's no understanding today what money is.
Well, here in the West.
In the West. And they've never ever wanted to say, oh well, you know, we've lied to you all these years. I mean, one of the things, and you can still see it with the Bank for International Settlements. Last month, I think they leased out 32 or 38 tons of gold, and that was dumped on the market. I mean, you can look at their leasing. You know, they lease anywhere from 500 to 1,000 tons of gold at a time, you know, on their books, not at one time.
Right.
But I mean, they've used that for years. They've used leasing and selling it into the market to augment the paper sales, because they have to deliver some, and you know, they're delivering more and more now. But I mean, over the years, gold certainly bled out of Fort Knox to hit the marketplace, to push the price down so they could point at it and say, look, gold bad, dollar good.
Right.
And why do they want to say dollar good? Because they had to borrow $35 trillion over time. And if confidence broke and people slash, you know, Americans slash foreigners did not view the dollar as good, then confidence breaks and the Treasury wouldn't have been able to borrow what they need to borrow. And now we're at the point where, you know, we need to borrow $3 trillion plus per year. I mean, we're borrowing $1 trillion every 100 days.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was going to say.
So, I mean, we're at the exponential phase right now, and I mean we're at the crash point. And at some point in time, and it wouldn't surprise me if it comes out in October, that, you know, you get Saudi Arabia, you get a bunch of these oil producing countries that say, we're not going to take dollars. I mean,
Right.
Saudi Arabia's already come out and said, we'll take anything. We'll take not anything, but we'll take, you know, this list of currencies, and including the dollar. But at some point in time, you know, the skullduggery, the amount of broken deals that the U.S. has done over the years is going to lend. It's going to lend to their mindset of saying, we don't even want your dollars. You know, we would rather have, you know, rubles or Brazilian real or Chinese yuan or whatever. It's the West is going to be exposed,
right,
for you know, being bullshitters.
Right. Well,
and that includes the gold that they supposedly hold, or we supposedly hold.
Well, I think at some point everyone's going to have to drop their drawers and show what they really have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just an example. Can you imagine Beijing? You just see armored trucks for a 48-hour period pull into, you know, a national stadium. And they're like, okay, here's our gold. And it turns out that it's 35,000 tons. It's got to be 25,000 or more. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
25,000 is the absolute minimum that they have. 25,000, not 2,500.
Right.
Okay, we've shown you ours. Now you show us yours. And our auditors, you know, auditors that we believe have got to be a part of that. Otherwise, we're not going to believe it.
Right. Right.
Then in dollars, what does that mean? Okay, so they revalue it in yuan because they want that to support their currency. But because confidence breaks in the dollar collapses. So if gold doubles, triples, quadruples, or whatever in yuan or, you know, BRICS currencies, what does that mean? It goes up 10-fold or 50-fold or 100-fold in dollars because the confidence in the dollar will have been broken.
Right.
It's a con game. That's what it's a confidence game.
Right. But I mean, Saudi Arabia, they joined the BRICS, though, right? Didn't they? Or they formally applied?
They formally applied, but more importantly, and this was, I think it was October, November, not this past year, but the year before. If you remember, for all of these years, they would only take dollars.
Right.
That was the agreement with Henry Kissinger back in 1973. Started the petrodollar, and they came out and they said, "Well, no, we will accept other currencies than dollars," and that was, you know, for me, that was a watershed event. That's like opening the gates of hell for the Western financial system.
Yeah, so once this unit or whatever comes out, even if it's backed by 20% gold, that's better than the dollar that's backed by nothing. So why would you want to hold dollars if
Correct.
there's nothing that
Right.
backs it? So I think the U.S.
Well, and the other 80% is going to be oil. It's going to be other commodities,
right.
and it'll be currencies. I believe it'll be also currencies of the BRICS, but there's going to be some tangibleness underneath it. And with the dollar, there's nothing. There's actually less than nothing. There's a negativity because of all the lies.
JB has a question.
Oh boy, here we go.
He was asking, why aren't we seeing the breakout in silver?
Well, again, understand that silver has been the redheaded stepchild that's been beaten for our lifetimes, basically. And the reason being, what we just talked about, they can point at it, look, dollar good, gold bad.
Right.
In order to keep gold in the box, and that is absolutely paramount, they have to keep silver in the box. It's such a small market that it's pretty easy to manipulate silver. I mean, it's only the total worldwide global production in a year is only $20 billion. I mean, you got people that can write checks now, individuals that can write checks for $20 billion. So it's a very small market. It's very easy to manipulate, and there's no way you could have silver go from, call it what, 27, 28 bucks. You couldn't see it at 100 or 200 bucks and gold not move up. So if they let silver out of the box, that lights like a very short fuse on the price of gold. The price of gold will immediately shoot up as soon as they lose control of silver, they've lost control of gold.
But silver is going to outperform gold, right?
Well, I mean, just look at the ratio. If it comes out of the ground at 10 to 1, and you got some people saying that there's, millions or hundreds of millions of ounces that the U.S. has of gold in the Grand Canyon, and silver's going to be worth more than gold. I can't see that in any possible fashion. It comes out of the ground at 10 to 1. It traded at 16 to 1 for hundreds of years. In other words, it was discounted from 10 to 1 to 16 to 1 because of the transportation costs.
The weight. Yeah.
In order to move X amount of francs or pounds or whatever the currency was back then, you had to move 10 times more silver. So they discounted it to 16 times more silver. The ratio was 16 to 1. Here it is now at 88 to 1. I mean, it'll at least go to 45 to 1, which tells you at 45 to 1, silver is going to double the performance of gold over time. And this goes back to what we talked about, silver or gold. Understand that silver is the money of the people, and gold is the money of kings. Now, not kings, but of central banks, of countries. And the demand for silver, I mean, you're talking about literally billions of people that are going to clamor for silver because it's real money. Smaller denominations, you're talking about being able to use it for barter. The
Right.
demand from the huge population that has or is losing their capital, losing their purchasing power, the flood into physical silver itself is going to be astronomical. It'll be enormous.
Right. And that's why I don't have a storage issue. So I just mainly do silver because I just keep being told by following people that are a lot more smarter than me that.
Well, and the other thing is, okay, let's say we have this crash, the lights go out, and best case scenario, it only lasts a couple weeks, a month, and we don't have this mass die off, and they get the system back up, rebooted and starting to come back up. Silver's got how many it's probably over 1,000. There's got to be over 1,000 different uses
Right.
for silver, because it's a better conductor than platinum. I mean, I mean, you've got medicinal uses, you've got industrial uses, you've got technological uses. It's money,
Right.
And gold is just money.
Right.
So, from an, if you want to call it, I don't consider gold or silver an investment. I consider them monies, and you're just taking your cash out of the system, making sure that it doesn't bankrupt.
Right. It is wealth.
It's wealth itself.
Yeah.
But from an investment standpoint, I mean, why wouldn't you want something that could be used in solar panels? You know, what are they doing? Every time they launch a Tomahawk missile, they're launching a monster box.
Right. Yeah, I think I heard somewhere that silver is the most versatile commodity besides oil.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's why I'm in silver. That's why I'm Texas silver, not Texas gold.
Exactly.
I don't know. So I don't know. Those are all the questions I really have. There were a couple more, but I think we've kind of covered that. So I didn't know if there was any other things you wanted to talk about, or.
Yeah, I guess one topic, and I guess it's just me getting it off my off my chest. And if you go back to 2017, 2018, I was still partnered with Jim Sinclair. I was posting on JS Mindset, and I talked a lot about truth bombs, because at that point, Trump was talking about the fake news, and the average person could look at something and go, that's fake news.
Right.
I mean, the bullshit was starting to ramp up. And I believed that, and I guess it's my naivety, that truth bombs, when I say truth bombs, the truth that's absolutely proven and easy to see even for idiots, that the truth would smack people over the head and they would point and go like, no, this is all wrong. You people are all lying, and it would clean things up. It didn't happen. The truth, I mean, just in your face truths were coming out day after day after day. And I mean, today, there's so much bullshit, and you can see this was photoshopped. Just item after item after item is being proven wrong, being proven total bullshit on a daily basis. And it's like no one cares. I mean, there's a faction of people who do care. But we're at the point now where the average person is starting to think, for example, the BLM riots, mostly peaceful. I mean, you got whole cities burning down. You got Minneapolis burned down, and now this guy's is running for vice president. I mean, they're trying to pose these people as center left. I mean, these are radical communists. And what I'm getting at is the lies have gotten so big and so blatant and so obviously bullshit that I think it comes to a head, and I think it comes to a head. It will come to a head at the same time markets are being unwound because they're unsustainable. So I just think that, I mean, this is an episode. It's biblical. I mean, in the Bible, it talks about everything becomes a lie, and that's the world we're living in now. Is everything is a lie. They don't even try to pretend anymore. They don't try to pretend it's for your own good. It's just like, well, this is the way it is, and tough shit.
Yeah, I don't even follow any mainstream. This is where I get my information from.
Well, it's important to at least look at mainstream once in a while. And Fox is just as bad on the conservative side as CNN and MSNBC are on the liberal side. So understand, you're getting a slant. I don't think Fox blatantly outright lies to your face and then the next day just ignores it. But on the left, they say stuff every day that's proven wrong before the end of the day. And do they ever come back and say, well, we're sorry, it was wrong, we correct it? No, they don't correct anything. It's out there and it stays out there. But I just think that the average person is they're starting to realize that there's something really wrong, and though they might not know exactly what it is, there's more and more unrest, and of course there's more and more unrest because of inflation. People are finding it harder to keep up. People are finding it, well, like you said, there's a ton of people that can't come up with $400 or $500 for an emergency. You've got so many people that are falling behind that, those people know there's something wrong.
Right.
Because they were surviving 5, 10, 20 years ago. And, now they've reached the end of the road.
But I saw a post from this girl on Facebook, and normally I stay out of it, but she was talking about, blaming the left for, how could you vote for the left when they're the ones that have done all this other stuff? And I'm like, it has nothing to do with the president. That's what they are using to divide the nation and have,
Right.
Don't look over there, what we're doing, look over here. And, I kind of went back and forth, with different, because I posted talking about it to her, trying to educate her, and she's completely clueless to what I'm talking about. So
Right.
they know something's wrong, but I think most people blame it on whoever is in the office.
Yeah.
And they're not looking at...
You used the term correctly, to divide the nation. It's not dividing the nation in half. That's only one thing. I mean, you've got the nation divided by vaxxed, unvaxxed.
Right.
You have the nation divided between the people who can't define what a woman is and biological gender. I mean, you have the nation. You have the nation, the world, being divided 20, 30, 50 different ways where it's cut. And every time you take a slice out of a pizza, you cut it in half, or a cake or whatever, you're doubling you're doubling the amount of slices, if you will.
Right.
So if they divide it 50 times, to find someone who agrees with you on all the topics and is in your little teeny tiny slice, it's really almost impossible to find anybody who fits on your slice.
Right.
And that's by design, divide and conquer.
Right. So I think as a whole, Americans realize something's not right, something's going bad.
It's not just Americans,
but,
it's all over the world.
Right.
I mean, how about being an Australian? And I bring up Australian because they were so whacked out and severe with their COVID policy, and now, as I understand it, I think it's New South Wales. I forget, but they've just gone to. There's no such thing as a paper deed for a piece of property. It's all electronic. And if you can't get a paper deed for it, guess what? It ain't yours. And it's the same thing with the great taking with stocks. If your broker goes down, they're going to bail your stuff in. That's why you need to get your stock certificates.
Yeah.
Because it's a paper receipt. It's just like the title to a truck,
Yeah.
the deed to a house. It's proof. Here it is, signed by the county clerk or signed by whoever. That's mine. You can't have it.
Right.
But I mean, globally, those things are being done because those laws are already in place, allowing that to be done.
Yeah. Well, what is that? You'll own nothing and be happy?
Don't forget about eating the bugs part.
We're not eating bugs.
My
We'll let the
chickens eat the
chickens.
bugs.
Yeah, the chickens will eat the bugs and
Yeah.
they'll eat the eggs. Anything else you want to go over? Or?
That's really about it. I mean, it seems like all my interviews now, I end with just do the best you can. I mean, I'm completely resigned to it that it's dead ahead of us, and do the best you can as fast as you can. Don't become emotional about it because you make mistakes when you're emotional.
Yeah.
Just do it methodically, logically. and just, try to think everything through. And don't, I would definitely not approach this thinking you know everything. And, you see somebody that says, well, you should do this or that. Think it through. There may be a valid reason why you need to do A instead of B in your location. So just do the best you can. You're gonna forget stuff. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This thing's gonna go down and you're gonna be like, man, I forgot to, I really wish I had done this. Well, it's too late. So don't beat yourself up.
Well, but that's why it's so important to have other people that are in your circle, like-minded individuals.
Right, because they're going to have a different perspective. They're going to say, oh, and here's an example. Oh, you forgot about the metal utensils instead of plastic utensils.
Right.
Just stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, because, no one can do this by themselves. You have to have a group. You have to...
Yeah, you got to be able to sleep.
Right. Yeah, so, and then my thing, too, is, people are like, well, what if this never happens? Which I fully...
No, it mathematically is going... It's happening before your eyes already.
Right.
So, it is happening.
But, yeah. But, say I never use my gold and silver, fine, whatever. It'll get passed to my kids.
Well, okay, from a barter standpoint, you never use your gold and silver.
Right.
But it is wealth.
Right.
It is wealth. It is your bank account.
Right. That is, that's my savings account. I know I talk about it on the channel. I don't have much of a savings account. Any cash I do have is pretty much on hand or is in metal.
Right.
So, but cool. Well, I guess we'll leave it at that. Again, let them know where they can get a hold of you if they want to buy precious metals or... Yeah,
you can go to my website. It's billholter.com. There is a contact button there. It just shoots you to my email. My email is bholter@proton.me. That's my business email address.
Right. Okay. I want to thank Bill again for having this interview with me. I know it's gone really long, so this is probably going to be 3 or 4 parts. But hopefully we can do this again and not so spread out. That way they won't be so long. But
oh, I do want to say one thing. It's really good news to hear that Craig Hunter's back up on his feet.
What happened?
He had a triple bypass surgery about 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Wow. Okay.
And had gone down, and he posted that he had a heart problem. Didn't say much about it, but he did post this past Friday that he's up and around, and he's going to take some time before he gets before he starts posting content and doing guests. So anyway, God bless.
Yeah,
Craig
good deal. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
Well, good. He's a good guy.
Yeah,
I miss him on YouTube.
He's a good Christian guy.
Yeah, I miss him on YouTube. I guess he's got his own site now.
USAWatchdog.com.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to end at that. Please like, share, subscribe, comment below, all that. So again, thanks to Bill, and we are done.
We'll have to tell people there's 1,500 eggs within 20 feet of us.
You want to talk about that?
No.
All right.
It's too funny though.
Yeah,
I
it is.
figured it out today.
Really?
Because I came in here to make sure they turn the air down.
Right.
And there's chickens up here, which I had not seen before. And as soon as I came, they went under there. That's where they got to be doing it. I don't smell nothing.
I'll get under there and crawl around. I'll find all your lost eggs.
You can have whatever you find. You can have it.
No, they'll be.
I gotta get him to put shit around it.
Yeah.
So that they don't go under.
Well, then they'll find another spot.
I'll just not let them out anymore. And you stay in a fucking pan.
Okay. Well, then you're not getting the real good eggs.
Yeah, I'd be just feeding them.
Okay. Well, it's whatever.
But yeah.
But you're a chicken farmer now.
Yeah, I am.
Anyways, all right.
I got the chicken ranch.
Yeah, I saw the chicken shit out there.
Yeah.
They crap everywhere. Okay, all right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to the channel. You're watching Texas Silver. As promised, I have Bill Holter with me.